and Batard.
So he was on Wingo and Golic, and I'm told this is Golic and Wingo. Excuse me. Whoa,
that's a fun.
Wow.
No, that's not a fine.
Wow. What do you mean?
No, what? That's not.
That's not the name of the show.
That's not the name of the show.
Fine.
They only had 8 million ads.
$2, 2 names wrong, right?
No,
and be careful on tone. That's all I'm saying. $2, fork it up.
Stugotz.
Want me to front you?
No, thank you.
Good, because I don't have any money on me.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Gosh, this is funny. Here, I like the idea of this. Can we do some of this by text machine? A texter writes in, does Bill Belichick's or Belichick's Valentine's Day card to his girlfriend just read, we're on to St. Patrick's Day? No days off. Like, we could have some fun here. We could have some fun with people in sports and what their Valentine's Day is like.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yes, we can. Yes.
Because this is what I'm asking you. I've talked to you about this in the past, about the idea that Tony La Russa, Bobby Knight, and Bill Parcells, as friends, they probably talk to each other the way you guys talk to your friends in college or in high school or at work if you're in your 20s, but they're just doing it much older. So I'm wondering if Parcells and La Russa, you guys are telling me, everyone's looking at me like I'm weird. If Parcells called La Russa and wished him a happy Valentine's Day or even texted him it, do you think it'd be weird? Do you think you'd think it's weird if Bob Knight were texting Bill Parcells, hey, happy V-Day, big guy?
Yeah, Bob Knight doesn't seem like a V.
You know what I'm saying, though? Who are the people in sports? Who are the people in sports that you would look at and say to yourself, that person gets Valentine's Day right?
J.J. Watt gets it exactly right.
J.J.
And it's
Watt
all
shows
over
up.
social media. I'm sure he's telling someone about it right now. I'm going to check his social media right now. He's wished all the grandmas out there a happy Valentine's Day. He had it set at 8 a.m. this morning. I have no question about this. I'm checking it out.
He's going door to door as Cupid for sure today.
Yeah.
J.J. Watt?
Yeah.
He owns today, Dan.
I'm not sure how you're arriving at this. I'd love to know your theories, though. I can't wait to hear your theories on this.
He's J.J. Watt. He does everything by the book. He does everything right.
So you think he's got on social media a scavenger hunt for his lady and as well a happy Valentine's Day to all the grandmas out there?
100%.
All right, so who does Valentine's Day better than J.J. Watt? Who's the guy? You're saying that because J.J. Watt does appearances well.
Yeah, of course. Yes. He does appearances well. He does everything well except sack the quarterback.
Don't we?
I hadn't done that in a while.
Don't we have somewhere some audio from a bad reality show or dating show where J.J. Watt has had an awkward dating moment in front of us? I feel like I remember that somewhere, but I might have that wrong. I might be confusing him with someone.
Jim Harbaugh can't do Valentine's Day well, right?
Well, see, that's just what I'm talking about. Nice work by you, Cody. Guillermo, put this on the poll. Just like he said it. Jim Harbaugh can't do Valentine's Day right. Right? Like, there's just no way that he does that correctly, right? It's not possible.
There is no way he's doing that right.
But how do you think Belichick does Valentine's Day? Like, do you think it's breakfast in bed?
I could see, like, Belichick being a sneaky romantic. I can.
Well, he is not bashful about kissing his lady in public, and he is not bashful about dating publicly.
You know who I think is sneaky good at Valentine's Day? Nick Saban.
Oh, wow.
Oh, he speaks very highly of his wife, and he doesn't mind telling everybody that she's in charge.
He puts on his crimson jacket.
And nothing else. Meal. And nothing else, my friends. And nothing else.
You guys think Tebow does it better than J.J. Watt?
He'd probably be so obnoxious with it.
How do you think Tebow does it? You think it's just...
I think Tebow goes out of it.
Too many balloons?
He goes out of his way to ruin your game.
He's sending flowers to her work, to her home. Like, get over it.
They're in the car.
Everywhere she turns, there's flowers.
Everywhere she turns the entire day, someone is there with flowers. And it might be an actual angel. Like, not someone dressed as an angel, but an actual angel putting flowers there. So no one, that means no one does Valentine's Day better than Tebow then, right? You guys may think it's too much.
No, because she has to enjoy Valentine's Day. At a certain point, she's like,
Wait a second.
Am I opening a flower shop? What am I going to do with all of this?
Wait a second. I mean, A-Rod is crushing today, is he?
How is he crushing it? He's signing so many. He's sending 1,000 flowers to the house with the note, Macho 13, Macho number 13.
He's buying out like a whole restaurant.
Oh, for sure. Oh, well, wait a minute. Didn't we, who were those pop stars? Who were the young pop stars? Was it Bieber? They had an actual Valentine's date at the Forum where they were served dinner. Was it Selena? Would it have been Selena
Gomez?
I'm not good at this stuff, but I'm pretty
exactly
sure you guys could look up for me a ridiculous Valentine's Day specific celebration by, I don't think it was Timberlake. I think it was Bieber, where they rented out the Lakers facility to have dinner there.
Probably not the Forum, though, right?
Well, the Forum was a long time ago. Whatever they're calling the Forum these days, you'll forgive me. One of the many things that has gone with age is stadium name.
The Staples Center?
Yeah, it's been the Staples Center since like 1995, right?
He rented Staples Center, and he did. Very good, Dan. Surprised Selena Gomez.
Well, what are the details, though? I'd like to go over some of the details in what it is that he did, because Justin Bieber is the guy that makes all the other guys look terrible on Valentine's Day.
There was a private screening of Titanic.
Right.
It's pretty good.
I mean, yeah.
Bieber.
Yeah. It's awful, Allison.
I mean, that movie's the worst.
Oh, Titanic is awful.
So
okay.
You lost me.
You weren't saying, okay,
Yeah.
they lose your romance right there with Titanic as the movie.
They also started the night with a Demi Lovato concert. Oh. She's so talented, Dan, Demi Lovato.
Yeah, she's good. Yeah.
Was the concert there? Was it a private concert, or they went elsewhere and started with a...
No, the concert was next door at the Nokia Theater. And then they went next door, they watched Titanic.
God. Was it or was it not dinner on the court?
Yeah, I think they had people come out and serve them dinner on the court, which would be really weird. I don't think I'd like that. Would you like that?
Okay, I don't know. I mean, it seems like it'd be kind of antiseptic, but if you're a romantic person, do I strike you as a romantic?
You?
If you're a romantic, that was a rhetorical question. Thank you, Billy.
Hi, everyone. Stugotz here. Support for the Dan Le Batard Show podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chances are you're confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, and your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you that same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. With Rocket Mortgage, you can apply simply and understand fully so you can mortgage confidently. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz, STUGOTZ, equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030.
Dan Le Batard.
I'd like to be a dog, man. It seems like such a great lifestyle. Hey, you sleep all day, you wait for everyone to come home, they rub your belly, they take you for a walk, and they just throw treats at you.
Stugotz.
I mean, I feel like you're kind of this show's pet, though, aren't you? Kind of. I mean, look at you today.
Who's good?
I mean, who's good? We groomed Stugotz. Who's good? Who's good?
Who's good? This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Hold up.
What happened?
Hold
What happened?
Hold up. Before you read anything, before you do anything, please make the Oprah Winfrey correction that you need to make, and then explain to me how this was a mistake that got made here.
All
Please make the correction now.
This was the end of the 11 o'clock Sports Center. I've only gotten 1,000 texts about it. And finally, Oprah Winfrey's real name was actually Orpah Winfrey. But people mispronounced it so much, she changed their name. So it was always Winfrey. It was just, people were pronouncing Orpah, Oprah.
This is what I want to say to you, okay? I don't think I've ever been as mad about anything in my life as I am about this mistake. You came on here and you read that we've been pronouncing Oprah Winfrey's last name wrong, and then you told us how to pronounce it correctly, and you said Winfrey.
Yep.
And that's the news that you gave. And Roy told me during the break that he told you this, and that you had this conversation, and then you came on air.
Not so fast, my friend. I went to Roy, and I said, listen, is it the first name or the last name? So people used to call her real name is Winfrey, and she just changed it to Winfrey because everyone just called her Winfrey. And he said, I thought he said yes. So I just ran with that.
I told you it was the first name.
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
You don't listen. You ask questions, don't listen, do what you want, get all the facts wrong, get a raise.
Yep. Thank you. So it's Oprah Winfrey.
I mean, that's you would agree though that
That's Roy. I mean,
would
blame
you
Roy.
or would you not agree that that is a pretty dumb mistake? Yes or no? After having had the conversation,
It is by Roy.
Also, that's a fine for blaming me. It's
Oh,
not
well,
my fault.
hopefully, I'll see if I have some money. Oh, I really don't have any money today. This is bad.
okay, you owe $2.
For what? For not having money?
You do you not know what the fine system is? The fine system is you get fined $1 every time that you make a mistake and blame it on someone else.
Right, so that's one.
If you don't have that dollar,
Right.
you then owe another $1 for not having that dollar.
Oh.
If it is then learned that you do have cash in your pocket,
Yeah.
the fine is another $1.
Okay.
So now let's go through his pockets.
I mean, go through it if you want.
Well, you owe at least $2.
I owe at least $2. It's an IOU. I have no money. You guys can come and check the pockets if you want. And really, Roy should be fine. I mean, Roy.
Whoa! No.
Sorry.
No.
That's it. And I owe $3. Get in touch with the show anytime to the 1-800-Flowers Twitter feed at Lebitard Show, at Stugotz790, at DMarvelous5000. Sent us a tweet saying, sprinting, gyrating Dan is a menace that will leave no mercy in its wake. Just a black hole-like blob sucking everything in its path up into his fat rolls. A little harsh, but funny. It's good enough to be a tweet of the day. We're going to send at DMarvelous5000 a 1-800-Flowers gift card. Dan, it's time for Straight Talk. It's brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Best phones, best networks, no contracts.
If you've been listening to the show, we've been talking about a foot race involving the entire show. Everyone on the show, Dominic Foxworth says he has not and will not sprint unless it's for money.
Attaboy.
He only sprints for money. I want the visual image. We're trying to get a race. If you know what we've got in play here, I have told World Series MVP Mike Lowell that I could beat him in a foot race. He has been invited to this foot race. Joey Galloway claims that he can run a 4.140 at 46 years old. He's full of it. I mean, that's fraud. There's a guy on ESPN running around. He might be the fastest guy at ESPN. In fact,
Right.
I'll give him that. Who is the fastest guy at ESPN?
Ooh, wow. I don't know if it's him anymore.
Who is the fastest guy at ESPN? I mean, it might still be Joey Galloway. I might be willing to extend him that.
Ryan Clark?
Who would win a race? Go ahead and put it on the poll. Who wins a race between 46-year-old Joey Galloway and then whatever Ryan Clark's age is? But regardless, he said he could run a 4.140 at 40 years old, and it's nonsense, but we're going to put him in this race. Pablo Torre says he can beat me in a race. He's going to finish in the top 3.
Right.
But we were talking about my long strides. Like, I'm just chasing everyone down. The longer this race is, I'm going to chase everyone down from behind. Just because I don't come with brakes and I've got very long strides. And once it gets moving, it's going to huff and puff past you at a high rate of speed.
How does it stop? Do we need like a
It
net
does,
or something?
Yes. In fact, yes. And at the end of this race that we've created, Greg Cody's going to be in this race. Yes, you would catch me like you would an entangled whale that's been caught in some trap that you were trying to fish for something else at the bottom of the sea. That's exactly. I need to end up in one of those field goal nets. Just running as fast as I can and then just have at the end a field goal net. So anyways, we're going to do this just so that you could see the visual of a 100-yard sprint, see how far Dominique and Galloway get out in front of us, and then just sort through the wreckage to see where everyone finishes 6th, 7th, and 8th.
By the way, Randy Moss works at ESPN.
Oh, ooh, Randy Moss that'd be a good one though. Randy Moss and Galloway.
Oh, Moss is beating Galloway, isn't he? Ooh. How old is Randy Moss?
I mean,
Galloway's 46, Dan. Like he said it when he was 40.
He continues to claim that every year he runs a 4.140.
Josina Anderson ran track.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, put this all on the poll. Who is the fastest person at ESPN? And then give people the answers. But Greg Cody is very likely to finish last. Greg Cody is the grandfather of the show. Greg Cody thinks he's great at everything in sports, though. He thinks he can make threes in an NBA game. He actually said, we had this wager in place where I told him, Greg, for the rest of your life, because he thought he can make a 50-yard field goal.
Yep.
And I said, for the rest of your life, I will pay you $1,000 every single time you make a 50-yard field goal. And he went out to try some extra points. And what ended up happening is that he pulled a quad.
Well, I went out there with him, and he went out there with the idea of kicking the 50-yarder to prove it to you. And I was taping a lot of this. But he said, hey, let's start with extra points. So we started there. He took 5. He made 1. He hurt his thigh and his hamstring, and he spent the rest of the room with a doctor, the rest of the day with a doctor.
That's right. And it was chronicled in song.
Yeah.
Greg Cody finishes last or Allison? Who wins? Who wins a race? Greg Cody or Allison?
Oh, I think Allison beats Greg.
Allison, what are you complaining about?
Super rude. I mean, you keep saying you're last.
I just don't think you'd be very fast, Allison. I don't think you'd be very fast.
I think Allison would beat Mina.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't think Allison is beating anyone. I think Allison is finishing in last place in this race.
Super rude.
I don't think Greg Cody's going to make it to the finish line, so maybe I don't think Greg Cody can make it 100 yards. Do you?
No.
Not running.
How does Sarah Spain do in this, though? I'm thinking she could be...
She was an athlete, though.
I know. I'm thinking she'd be very fast. That's what I'm thinking.
She's top 5, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I'm definitely top 5.
Half the people in this room.
Yeah,
Easy.
yeah.
You're not top 5.
No, I'm top 5. I'm sneaky fast, man. I'm telling you.
No, you're not.
I am.
It's just sneaky.
Don Le Batard.
There was a play-at-home plate, and this 10-year-old was rounding third and going home, and I got the ball right before she, okay?
Oh, no.
I threw the ball at her so hard.
From where?
But I got her out.
From where? Where were you throwing the ball from?
About 2 feet away. I take my kickball seriously, man.
Stugotz.
But it was just reactionary, Dan. I caught the ball. There was a play at the plate. I threw it at her.
Stugotz, do you...
And you probably put up 2 fingers up.
Yeah, two down. We got 2 down.
Two down.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
We are a marching band to nowhere. We are a spaceship of BS. A texter writes in, I can't wait for this race, but there's no way it's actually going to happen. Is there? I mean, this seems like a pretty easy thing for us to do.
It does, yes.
To schedule a 100-yard foot race.
I mean, the difficult thing.
But I thought getting a camera at the Super Bowl for ESPN would be easy, and I was wrong about that.
Right.
So maybe it's a hard thing to do. But in terms of us having an idea and actually doing it, this seems like a pretty easy one.
It does. The only difficult part is to get all the people involved with this show down here at the same time.
Okay.
Meaning the guest co-hosts.
Okay.
You know?
Well, let's see if it's worth the effort. Let's see if it's something we could sell. A 100-yard race where we fly everyone in from ESPN to find out who the fastest person at ESPN is.
If we're doing this like publicly, like as a spectacle, we have to have more than just a 20-second race. Because that would be pretty disappointing.
Okay, well, I don't think it would be disappointing. I think it'd be. I think anybody seeing me finish last, that is the reward. Like that day is a victory. If we do this and it lasts 20 seconds and I can't finish the race or I finish last, that is a successful radio event.
Or it's just you running into a net.
Oh, that's right. Now, if we add the added bonus of at the end of the 20 seconds, I'm going to get caught in a field goal net. And be like a whale fighting for my existence. You would watch that on television. So, after the show today, Stugotz, you may be familiar with his work. He is shameless. He is a salesman. He is chummy and smarmy. And on big occasions, we have Stugotz call restaurants and request ridiculous reservations. So, tonight, Valentine's Day, after the show, Stugotz is going to call a restaurant and try and get ridiculous reservations on a night where it's hard to get reservations. But we've done this before on Valentine's Day. Who did we do it with, Billy? Do you remember?
We called Canoe in Atlanta last year.
Canoe. Yes, one of my favorites.
All right, so now keep in mind, again, Stugotz is shameless. It's one of the reasons Wilbon probably hates him.
Yeah.
And so Stugotz will make a call, and he will land these reservations in the most impossible times by being just a jerk.
The way this got started was I used to tell Dan and all the guys that this is how I would get reservations on big nights last minute. I would do this off air. I would do it all the time. I do what I got to do to get a reservation.
This is not an act. Like, this is how Stugotz does it. It will make your skin crawl.
Yeah, so I was telling Dan all the time, this is what I do, this is how I do it. Hey, let me get you a reservation. You're like, no, I don't want you doing that on my behalf. And then you said, and then I kept bragging about it because I'm proud of it. And that's weird. And you said, hey, let me hear it. Let's do it on air.
All right. So I don't know. This was a couple of years ago or last year, but let's go in the Wayback Machine to find out, Stugotz, how he got. He probably got the reservation because he always does, right? Let's see what happened in Atlanta.
Thank you for calling. This is Vanessa. How may I assist you?
Hey, Vanessa, how you doing?
Good. Yourself?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Thank you for asking. I appreciate that. I wanted to see, Vanessa, if you can help me out. I love the restaurant. I've been there several times. I don't currently live in Atlanta, but I'm going to be there tomorrow for Valentine's Day. And again, I've been there so many times. I got so many friends in the 404, so I'm wondering if you could help me out. I know this is a last-minute request, but I'm hoping that you can help me out here, okay?
Well, we are completely booked, unfortunately, for our lunch and dinner service. My best advice would be to just walk in. We're going to do our absolute best to accommodate walk-ins. We plan on opening up some stuff, but we just can't reserve anything on the books.
Are you talking about tonight or tomorrow? Which one are you talking
tomorrow.
about? Oh, you're talking about tomorrow night, right? The big night,
yes,
Valentine's Day. Yeah, you know, because
yes,
this is the place that I've been married now. This is going to be our 15th anniversary, and I proposed I proposed at your restaurant. So, and I being the dope that I am, I waited to the last minute, and so I'm a little nervous just walking in there. I feel like I should have a better plan than this. Like my wife, I mean, she might divorce me if I don't get this reservation.
Oh, no.
No, I'm serious, Vanessa. I'm serious. Are you married?
I am not, but I can certainly understand the circumstances.
Right.
I can certainly understand the circumstances. I mean, I could try and talk to my manager. I can't make any promises, though. Okay?
You know what? Let me speak to your manager real quick.
Okay, one second.
All right.
You have not said
along
a
the
true
peaceful
thing.
banks of the
Like,
Chattahoochee River.
everything in here has been a lie.
Yep. Here comes some more.
At 4199 Paces Ferry Road, Southeast.
Thank you for holding. This is Kelly.
Hey, Kelly, how you doing?
Well, thank you.
All right, listen, I was talking to Vanessa. She's great. I feel like we're friends already, me and Vanessa. So listen, I got engaged at Canoe, and it's a big, big Valentine's Day for me. And I know I'm calling last minute, but I was supposed to do this about 3 months ago, and I forgot. I know. My wife loves the place. We know so many people in the 404. We love the Chattahoochee River. And I was hoping that we can get a reservation for 2 tomorrow night. Like, this is going to be a marriage saver for me. I'm in big, big trouble if I don't get this done.
So it looks like I had something become available at 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. Well, I was thinking 7:30. Is there anything available at around 7:30?
No, 6 o'clock's going to be the best I can get.
All right, well, let me perhaps a couple of things here, just some tidbits about me that might be able to help sway you a little bit. And again, block out that 6 o'clock because I might end up taking it. Did you say 6 o'clock, right? You said 6?
Yes.
6 o'clock. Okay. I'm looking for prime time, baby, but that's fine. Let's see if we can work it out here, okay? What I'm thinking, so there's no easy way for me to do this. I host a national radio and TV show for ESPN. I'm a big-time celebrity. And
What's your name?
Oh, my name is Stugotz. I do the show with Dan Le Batard. Stugotz is my name. Oh, you listen to the show?
Yeah, my husband is a big sports fan, big ESPN guy, so absolutely.
Okay, so if you tell your husband that Stugotz is on the line and he's looking for 2 people at 7:30, he would say, listen, he wouldn't tell you how to do your job, but he'd probably tell you, hey, I'd give that guy the reservation because I have the ability, unlike whoever has the reservation at 7:30 right now, I have the ability to promote you out to millions of people, and I will do it on a daily basis. We are big in Atlanta. Big.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We are huge in A-Town. We love A-Town.
Let's see.
All right. Couple more things that might sway you here. I got a crew. So, like, when I come in, I don't just come in with me and my wife. I usually bring Ron Gant. I usually bring Terry Pendleton, who won an MVP in the National. Probably shouldn't have won the MVP that year, but he won it anyway. I'll bring the Pendletons. I'll bring the Webbs. You know Spud, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. I'm actually from Atlanta, so I know all those guys.
Yeah. So, and I bring the Concacs as well. John Concac is a good friend of mine. So, in fact, last time I was there was with the Concacs. That's who I was there with, and Big Boy. Big Boy. You know Big Boy from Outkast?
Oh, yeah. Yep. We see him.
Yeah.
Yep.
His new album's out right now. It's Big Grand. It's available in stores right now. It's he's a good friend of mine. So I'm going to come fully loaded here.
Yeah. Let's see.
But I only need
8 o'clock is going to be as close to 7:30.
8 o'clock. Wow. So listen, yeah. I only need chairs for me and my wife because the Gants and the Concacs, the Pendletons, they just kind of like to roam the room, say hi to people, wish them a happy Valentine. So we're good. You don't need a bunch of seats for them, just for me and my wife. Okay. And I might bring Greg Maddox. I'm not sure.
Stu. And you spell it S-T-U or S-T-U?
I mean, this is amazing. What the things I am going to do for you and for this restaurant are just, and your husband, by the way, is because I felt like I was in a canoe without a paddle. And now I'm not. Now I'm actually sitting in the canoe, and I have with a table for two. I mean, who's better than me and who's better than you? Quite honestly.
Who's better than
8 o'clock tomorrow?
2 at 8 o'clock tomorrow.
And what was your name again?
My name's Kelly.
Kelly, you saved my marriage, and you are a sweetheart, and I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure.
It's Dr. Seuss, canoe for two.
You like
Thanks
that,
for being you.
Wonder why Wilbon hates me.
Boom, boom. Well, the thing, the part about that is great. And it's a rare achievement. It really is. That is uproariously funny and disgusting. Like the whole thing is disgusting. I'm listening to it, and I'm actually wondering, put this on the poll, should Stugotz be proud of that? Because he's waving a finger, and he's like, woo, should Stugotz be proud of that?
Charming, too, right?
It's, well, I mean, I don't know on the spectrum where it is between charming and cheesy.
Oh, it's cheesy.
Yeah, but like, I don't know.
But I've told you forever, you just talk long enough and you'll eventually get to where you want to get to.
Well, how are you going to do it any better than that? First of all, the thing that made me laugh the hardest in there is the Concacs. And I just don't know if that's a reference that anyone in our audience gets. No one. John Concac, go look up the salary John Concac got as a center for the Hawks. Go give me the numbers on this, and I will tell you, and really, it's word association. When I think of John Concac, I think of one of the most ridiculous contracts in the history of basketball. At the time, he was associated with an amount of money that you would never give someone named John Concac. But the numbers have gone so through the roof that I'm guessing when you guys find this, you will laugh uproariously at whatever that number was for John Concac. But I'm telling you that at the time, John Concac was viewed as a catastrophic contract that was idiotic because of how large it was.
It was 6 years, $13 million.
Think about that for a second. That's the joke Stugotz just made. The Concacs. That's how long ago that was. John Concac for 6 years, $13 million was outrageous.
Attention shoppers, clean up on aisle 14. Clean up on aisle 14. Someone dropped a jar of pickles. Kosher pickles.
Beatboxing at a big box store. Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
A red minivan has the lights on in the parking lot.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Geico.
Don Le Batard.
Kids, listen to me. Every day somebody comes up to me, doctors, lawyers, college students. What do I need to do what you're doing? And the answer to that is hire your father and a troll.
Stugotz.
You literally just told a couple of kids that. I'm not joking.
Yes, I just told a couple of kids that in the hallway. I just realized this is a moment of huge self-loathing because I'm sitting here ripping Will Smith because he's done all of this so much better than I have. He's Will Smith. Look at me. Conquering AM radio. It's not exactly the future like Netflix. Will Smith is in bed with an orc and Netflix, and I'm here fighting Rob Manfred with a troll.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Texter writes in, I love how Stu said the show was big in Atlanta when the show is no longer on in Atlanta. Another texter writes in, I live in the Atlanta area. I don't get the Concac reference. John Concac signed for 6 years, $17 million the year after Michael Jordan. 6 years, $13 million. Yes. The year after Jordan signed for like 8 years, $25 million. John Concac signed that contract.
It's a bargain.
No, but Chris Cody asked the right question during the break. He's like, was that in the 1940s? Like, did Concac have a second job as a plumber? That's the right question.
Concave.
Think about what has happened to and it's all television money. Think about what has happened to professional sports contracts since John Koncak was outrageous for 6 years, $13 million. And now Tyler Johnson is out here getting $50 million plus.
Koncak was averaging 6.2 points and 6.1 rebounds. I mean, there was outrage, legit outrage over the Koncak contract.
There are a handful of infuriating contracts that I remember. How about this one? Mike Hampton with the Colorado Rockies one time signed for $121 million.
Yep.
And it was crazy. And now Yu Darvish at that price is a discount.
Yes.
Yu Darvish at $121 million. Who are the guys you associated? By the way, Chris Cody mentioned during the break as well, Russell Wilson kills Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah.
Kills it.
Oh, yeah.
Who kills it in sports more than Russell Wilson? Now, I'm not saying it from the man's viewpoint. I'm saying it from largely the woman's viewpoint. Who kills Valentine's Day? Because I don't know that a lot of us look at what Russell Wilson does on Valentine's Day and says, I wish I were doing that. Otherwise, you'd just do it. If you were somebody who could do those things, you would just do them.
You would be doing them, right. Brady, maybe?
We were talking back here. How does Stephen A. do on Valentine's Day?
Oh, can we ask him?
Crushes it.
Can we ask him? We were thinking, Allison was thinking before the show, we should have someone on to talk about Valentine's Day who has failed at it, like Larry King. Like Larry King who is famous with failed relationships. I would love to get advice from that person on sort of like having learned through 17 marriages why it is that you don't do this. I would love for that person to be our love doctor. Can we get Stephen A. Smith on? He doesn't tolerate some of our silliness.
He's been doing a segment every day on the show called The Love Doctor, where he's giving people love advice. So I think he'd be okay with this. I think he'd be down with this. He loves Valentine's Day, man. He really
does he?
Yes.
Stephen A. Smith
talks about it all the time. Yes.
Does he? All right.
Yes.
Well, let's find out. Let's call Stephen A. Smith in the next hour. Ron Magill is going to join us in 10 minutes. We're going to talk the animals with him. If you want to talk to Ron Magill, the telephone number is 786-456-4837. Ron Magill is coming to that thing that we're doing, the skills competition thing we're doing on Saturday. What can I announce here, though? Like, what can I say about this thing that we're doing Saturday? Is there anything that I'm allowed to say so that our audience knows we're going to be there? Or are we going to do that ESPN thing where we announce it Friday or Saturday at the wrong time? And then, do we have a plan? Well, you know what? I shouldn't blame that on ESPN. Given that the Super Bowl and Valentine's Day snuck up on our staff, what is our plan for Saturday? Like Valentine's Day, the Super Bowl, the same time every year, but it snuck up on our staff. February 14th, just like, wait, what do we do? Let's play a call from a year ago that Stugotz did because we didn't plan anything. Oh, good. All right. So it's the same time every year.
We are having a show watch party on Saturday night here at the Clevelander.
All right, can that be announced? Oh, here we go. Here's the bureaucracy.
Not exactly a show watch party. Like, don't just show up and you're not going to have access to Dan, all right? You want to pretend you're watching a game with Dan, you're going to have to watch it online somewhere.
I meant that, like, our show's going to be watching it. It's going to be on the internet.
Portions of our show are going to be watching it.
Yes.
See, for those of you who don't know, we've been at this for a little while, and at one time, Charlie was running the television side for Fusion Television, and now Charlie's back in the mix running things. And so we've got an event on Saturday that I'm eager to do, but I've been told is not with Stugotz and Billy, which is confusing. Because I thought we were doing something show-related,
right? And
Billy's not going to be here, and Stugotz is not going to be here, which makes me not want to be here. And so I'm curious, like, who...
That's because of me or Billy? Or
no, I just want to do... If I want to do something for the audience,
right.
The audience expects the both of us.
Yes.
It's the only people watching this are going to be people who care about the show.
Right. Now, I'm a terrible planner as well, but I told Mike well in advance, like months ago, I was going to be away this weekend.
Again, our show has a planning problem. All of us blindsided by February 14th. Like, it showed up on the calendar, and we're all like, what is this? It's been the same for a long time.
1-800-Flowers. We haven't been doing any commercials for it.
When was Valentine's Day created? When was it invented? Did Hallmark invent Valentine's Day? Because for however long that's been, I'm pretty sure it's been February 14th.
A-Rod invented it.
So you think A-Rod is crushing Valentine's Day?
I don't think I know what he's doing today.
Okay.
And he's put in so much work for today, too. Like, he's gone and he's had his hair done and he's gotten his eyebrows done.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
He'll start planning next year's tomorrow.
All right. Go ahead and put it on the poll, Allison. Alex Rodriguez on Valentine's Day. Alex Rodriguez, does he get his hair did? Put that on the poll, please.
Don Le Batard.
Oscar Robinson had 41 triple-doubles back in 61-62. 41.
Stugotz.
It's Robertson, but...
Big O.
Okay, but...
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
We love this segment. It's one of our most popular. Our friend Ron Magill with us every week. Zoo Miami. It's become very popular. If you want to get in with him, 786-456-4837. First things first, because I view Ron as a tremendous romantic. Like, put you all to shame romantic.
Yeah, probably.
So he's got to do Valentine's Day like a killer, right?
Absolutely.
Well, okay. Yeah. Do you, Ron?
Well, my wife has got patience late, so she doesn't really get out until about 6:30, 7 o'clock. But she doesn't know this. What I've gotten is her favorite, which is these huge stone crabs, along with some nice filet mignon, and I've gotten literally 150 candles that are going to be leading all the way up to the dinner table into the house.
I told you.
With all of her favorite orchids all around, her favorite music playing, and I got front row center seat tickets. It's not till July, but I got front row center seat tickets to Chicago and REO Speedwagon together.
Jeez.
Where she loves those bands.
So
I love those bands.
Yeah, Ron. Yeah. It's a little much, Ron. I got to be honest. And a fire hazard. I mean,
a little much. It's unbelievable.
No.
You're putting us to shame, man. That's what you're doing.
How many candles?
No. 150.
Yeah, it's a fire hazard, man.
No, but they're nice. They're in votives. They're nice little votives that glow red. They're kind of like those nice glowing votives. She loves candles. She really loves candles a lot. And she doesn't get home till like 7:15. It's just dark then, so it's perfect. And her favorite music and the orchids. She hates roses because roses just die. So she loves orchids. So I get a ton of orchids. I got them all over the house already.
Orchids ain't cheap, man. Orchids ain't cheap.
Brother, let me tell you something. Happy wife, happy life.
All right, buddy, I'm celebrating you. You are the best at this.
How do you keep 150 candles lit? Like they're gonna burn out.
No, they don't. No, they're votives. They're in those nice little votives.
Yeah,
they stay on forever. Yeah. They're really nice, and they glow. They're not like wax dripping all over the place and stuff like that. That looks a little bit more gothic to me. I like the votives. They're nice, warm glow, perfect music. Little Luis Miguel, she loves that.
Hold on a second, Miguel. How long you been married?
30 years.
All right. What is the biggest of the Valentine's Day you've done? If this is just one you do, like if what you did for this Valentine's Day is your normal, what is your extreme?
I got to be honest with you, Dan. I don't usually do extreme things on Valentine's Day because I think when you do things for holidays, it's kind of like commercialized. What I like to do is I do things for no reason at all. Like I'll surprise her, like I'll, pick her up from work and we'll just drive to the airport and go to an island or something, with no special day.
Right.
And I think that makes.
Ron, but what you did tonight is extreme.
Yeah, that is extreme.
What are you talking about?
Ron, that's extreme.
It's not really extreme. Listen, guys, it's not extreme. Okay, the tickets to the concert, that was an opportunity that I couldn't pass up because I know she loves those bands.
If that's not extreme, what's your extreme? If that's not extreme, what's Ron Magill's extreme?
My extreme would be to pick her up, have a limo waiting in the house, take us to the airport, go to New York, have front row tickets to Broadway plays, have a suite at the top of the
zoo
Rainbow
business
Room.
Is good. The zoo business is booming.
Yeah.
No, but that would be my dream. It's not that I've been able to do that, but that would be my dream. I would love to do that. I'd love to do it for no reason at all. I think when you do those things for no reason at all, they're a lot better than when you do them because you're supposed to do them. I just think it works better that way. Like, every now and then I'll give her a card for no reason. You just leave a card for no reason someplace, and those really, I think those make a difference. As opposed to just birthday, anniversary. Listen, I'm not stupid. I got married 4 days after my birthday, so I know when it's my birthday, I better have all my stuff together for our anniversary.
Ron, do any animals do romance?
Sure, in courtship. Absolutely. There's a lot of courtship that goes on. There's the bowerbird that he goes out and collects all kinds of brightly colored things, objects, and he brings them to her like he's giving her jewelry and stuff. And if she likes it, then she comes into his nest, and the rest is history. But there certainly is courtship that goes on in animals. It's really interesting.
Which animal is most romantic?
Oh, geez, it depends. I mean, if you like song, well, look at the birds. Look at some of the songs that birds sing to get the attention of a mate. Look at some of the dances some of these birds do. Go and look at planet Earth. Look at these birds that go back and forth on these limbs and do these things with their feathers, these flash colors and singing. It's unbelievable the kind of demonstration they do to profess their love.
Dustin, you're on with Ron Magill of Zoo Miami. Go ahead.
Hey, Ron. My fiance and I drink a lot of alcohol. I wanted to know how much alcohol it would take to get an elephant drunk.
That's a good question.
Great question.
That's a really good question, and I don't really know. I mean, since I've never had a drop of alcohol in my entire life, I wouldn't know how much it would take. But I can tell you that animals do get drunk. There's the amarula tree that produces these fruits that become quite fermented, and you see it a lot. You can YouTube it, and you'll see these baboons that start eating these fermented fruits that are just basically all kind of liquored up, and they start swaying back and forth. They can't even walk straight. They look like a typical drunk in the middle of the street.
Dare you hazard a guess, though, on elephants? Like, what does an elephant eat a day?
Well, an elephant can eat 300 to 400 pounds a day. I mean, they defecate that much in a day, so they're eating at least that much, plus the water. So I'm thinking, if you have an elephant that's 10,000 pounds, that's what? That's 100 times the average adult woman. So if an adult woman has to have 3-4 glasses of wine to get
there
looped,
you go.
Then you're going to have to say, well, that's 10. It's 1,000 times that. So you're going to have 40,000, 5,000 glasses of wine, the equivalent, into an elephant.
That's the answer. There you go. Don't tell us about the damn chimps that get drunk. There's your answer. 500 glasses of wine.
No, 1,000.
5,000. 5,000, excuse me.
That's
Benjamin, you're on with Ron Magill. That's a fine.
Hi, Ron. Do you use birth control with any of the animals at the zoo? And if so, which ones and how?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, many of the animals are chimps, for instance, have birth control. We initially started with using the implants, like Norplant. It's an implant that's put under the skin of human women that time releases hormones, convinces the lady she's pregnant so she never ovulates. But it became a challenge with chimps because what the chimps would do is they would pick them out of themselves. Even if you put it in the middle of the back of a chimp, another chimp would come and pick it out. So then we ended up vasectomizing the males because these males have been already well represented. They don't need any more of their genetic material spread through the area. So we vasectomize the males, but we use implants for things like tigers. A lot of the cats have implants that are used. So that's the most common type of birth control that we use. But vasectomies are used. We very rarely castrate any animals because by castrating an animal, it will lose a lot of its normal male traits. If you castrate a lion, for instance, the mane will thin out. It'll fall out. It won't even have a big mane anymore. It loses the musculature. So we vasectomize those animals so they maintain their testosterone levels. They just are not reproductive.
It's sort of like how men get married, right? Like it's sort of the same thing, right? Where it's like no. All right, Charles, you're on with Ron Magill of Zoo Miami. Go ahead.
Happy Valentine's Day, Ron. I was watching Blue Planet. You're welcome. I was watching Blue Planet, and I saw that a fish is able to change its gender from male to female. So I was wondering, what other animal can naturally change its gender other than the fish?
There's several reptiles, a lot of lizards. It's called parthenogenesis, and it's basically the ability to change sex so you don't even need a mate. They can actually fertilize their own eggs and produce offspring without ever mating. They just found that out to happen with a Komodo dragon, which is was unknown until about a year ago. So Komodo dragons can actually change sex and become parthenogenic, in other words, not need a mate to reproduce. This is something that I think may be becoming more evident in some species as species become rarer and the animals attempt to adapt to not becoming extinct is being able to reproduce itself without having a mate. It's really an incredible thing. A lot of salamanders do that.
Ron Magill with us of Zoo Miami on ESPN Radio.
Ron, we were discussing this earlier, and I noticed you didn't wish that guy a happy Valentine's back. Do you feel like it's odd for...
I did so.
You said you too. I mean, you said you too, I think is what you said, right? But do you find it weird?
It back?
Well, if a guy wishes you a happy Valentine's Day, Dan thinks it's weird. There's no way you think that's weird, right?
I don't think it's weird. I just think it's a normal greeting. Dan's got all kinds of phobias about things. I don't know why he gets all...
Yeah, I am. That's true. I am phobic about love. I'm phobic about people feeling good. Dana, you're on with Ron Magill of Zoo Miami.
Hey, Ron, if you were the host of a 1970s TV dating game show based in a zoo or the wild, where would you send the contestants for their first date, and where would you send them to seal the deal?
Oh, wow.
Wow. A first date.
Good question.
Wow. First date, I would send them to Victoria Falls. That thunder of those falls, the majesty of the mist in the air, the sounds, the rainbow going over the water. And to seal the deal?
Wow, this has gotten erotic.
Oh man, to seal the deal. I'd bring them to the falls. The thunder of the falls and the mist and the rainbow, and you don't hear anything else but each other next to you. It's just an incredible experience. To seal the deal, I would send them to a place called Zarafa Camp in Botswana. It's a camp that is basically has its own No, I take that back. I would send them to the Crater Lodge in the Ngorongoro Crater in Tanzania. It's this huge, beautiful lodge where you have a private room, ceiling-to-floor windows overlooking the Ngorongoro Crater, huge fireplaces. You got this rain shower, and it's nothing but tons of roses and rose petals all over the place, and all you hear is that outside you hear the lines go, home, home. So you're kind of too scared to go out, but you want to be protected. You have this incredible view of nature as it was 500 years ago in this beautiful place, this majesty of the crackling fire, these animals outside, that feeling that you want to be protected. He protects you. He holds you. He seals the deal.
Wow, I'm aroused and creeped out. I'm going to let him go on that note.
Let me tell you something. There's nothing more romantic than Africa, guys. I've been there over 50 times. There's nothing more romantic than Africa. If you can't seal the deal in Africa, you are a very sorry soul.
Okay, very good. Right. And on that,
Happy V-Day.
Happy V-Day to Ron Magill. We have no video this week. Thank you, sir. We appreciate
Love you guys,
it.
man.
All
Take care. Bye-bye.
Love you too.
What happened with the video there, Guillermo? What happened?
They told us that it was good to go, and then we asked, and they said that they never verified with Ron, so we pulled the plug on that.
Okay, so planning again? So it snuck up on us, that segment? Okay, good.
Hi, everyone. Stugotz here. Support for the Dan Le Batard Show podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chances are you are confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, and your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you the same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. Rocket Mortgage is simple, allowing you to fully understand all the details and be confident you are getting the right mortgage for you. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz. That's rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz, STUGOTZ. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states. NMLS consumeraccess.org number 3030.
Dan Le Batard.
I don't know anything.
Stugotz.
I don't remember what I was going to talk about, so in those instances, what I have is a default that just makes fun of Stugotz.
You're welcome.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Allison, put it on the poll, please. Is there anyone worse than the guy who keeps referring to Brady or Jordan as GOAT? A texter is writing in here. Is there anyone worse than the guy who keeps referring to Brady or Jordan as greatest of all time, GOAT? Can't be bothered to say greatest of all time, needs to shorten it to GOAT.
He's the GOAT.
So if you don't know what GOAT is, you then ask the question and he can tell you cleverly greatest of all time.
At this point, everyone knows what the GOAT is, right? No one's asking. There's no follow-ups to the GOAT.
Is that
when
right?
someone says, yeah, you're the GOAT, no one's asking what's a GOAT.
Is that true?
I think so, yeah.
Well, at one point, you discovered it, correct?
Correct, yes.
I know.
At one point, I asked someone, what's the GOAT?
Okay, right. So everyone discovered it at the same time. You did.
No, I think everyone now that was years ago.
I know, but I'm saying you have this prism of if I've done it, it's everyone's sensibilities. So you learned it at one time. And you don't think anyone right now is learning that GOAT is greatest of all time right now on the radio, that they've never heard it before? You think that's impossible?
Yes.
You think there's still people that think GOAT's bad? Because a GOAT used to be a bad thing.
Like Bill Buckner.
That's right. Bill Buckner
was a goat.
Used to be a goat. There'd be a lot of goats. Chris Webber was a goat. Who's the famous Scott Norwood's a goat?
Yep.
Who are the famous goats of all time?
When did it switch?
That's a great question. See, now we're getting somewhere.
So that's a legit question.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. It switched. Nobody told us. There was no memo. Next thing we know, we're all waking up and no, the greatest GOAT is not bad now. It's the best.
Right.
Whoa, disorienting.
Yeah. Buckner's always been the GOAT, and then suddenly Jordan's the GOAT.
How about this one? There are people in our audience right now who it just changed for them right now. Because they were like, I didn't know that. I thought goats were bad.
Let's switch something else. What can we switch?
I like this idea.
Hey, this is good. This got switched. It got switched recently, and no one sent out a memo. Because Brady and Mike, and furthermore, wait a minute. Are Brady and Jordan the only two who get it? Like, Ali got it?
Right.
But are there any right now?
Well, there could only be one GOAT in each sport, right? So, yeah, Brady, Jordan.
But does Trout get it? Trout's not getting it. Cabrera's not getting it.
Gretzky
got it. Who's doing that in hockey now? Because it's not Ovechkin. Is it Crosby? Like, no, there's no greatest of all time in hockey right now, is there?
No.
Wait a minute. What happened to the absence or the endangered species of greatest of all time? Where are they?
Gretzky ended it in hockey.
Wait a minute. Ended it?
Yeah, and so did Jordan.
Is Babe Ruth the GOAT?
No, he's not. Overrated.
And black. According to Stugotz's personal record book.
That is correct. We're working on that.
This is an excellent question, though. Just like I'd like to know, when did Valentine's Day start? Was that the creation of a card company? When did the day of Valentine's Day start as February 14th? And when was the day that GOAT went from being Bill Buckner to being Michael Jordan and Tom Brady?
Serena's the GOAT.
Yes.
Stephen A's the GOAT.
Were you and Chris going to say Stephen A. at the same time?
It depends on what Chris is going to say.
I was starting to say Stephen A. That's crazy.
Well, wait a minute. We say Stephen A. is the GOAT. I don't know that everyone says that.
So what's a bad thing that we can switch? Like a poop emoji? Make that a good thing now?
It is weird. This is a good point by Chris. The fact that this changed and the fact that there are people in our audience who don't know that it's changed until this very minute is something that happened in what, the last 15 years? 10 years? Tom Brady was pictured in GQ holding a goat, was he not? That was like 6 or 7 years ago.
He knew.
I think Jordan was the first GOAT.
Really?
He came before, obviously, he came before Brady.
Ali, no one ever called Ali a GOAT. Jordan does have to be the GOAT, but why did we start doing that? Who started doing that? How did it become popular? All those answers not likely to be had. Next.
Don Le Batard.
Pistachios are highly flammable when stored in large quantities and can spontaneous combust.
Stugotz.
Spontaneously.
Nope. Spontaneous. Lee.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
You are a national treasure.
Thank you.
Do you realize how hard it is to make that funny?
Thank you.
Chris Sims with us. Chris Sims.
Showering me with compliments. Valentine's Day. I love it.
Some people are writing in here that LL Cool J, his album, 2000, that's when GOAT made an appearance for the first time. Do we have a definitive answer on this? When did it change? Greatest of all time, the GOAT?
Yeah. So
the first time I ever heard GOAT out of anybody's mouth was Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice, at the end of the 90s, and even in my early career when he used to come and even talk to John Gruden, at times Gruden would go, "Hey, I just got off the phone with the GOAT." And I was like, "Who are you talking about?" And he's like, "Jerry Rice." And Jerry self-proclaimed himself the GOAT a while ago. That was the first time I heard it really being called that on a regular basis.
Wasn't asking you.
Yeah.
Billy, do we have any? No, that's okay. That's okay.
That's a good answer.
Billy, what is the answer to the question?
So according to Gramophobia, in 1992, Muhammad Ali's wife licensed GOAT to kind of shorten the greatest of all times Inc. So 1992, Muhammad Ali.
Wow. Nice. All right. Good answer.
So do we owe them royalties? Like, how does that, what happens there?
No, because you use it? I don't know how that one works, actually, because Michael Buffer has some sort of royalty deal.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, let's get ready to rumble. If you use that phrase in some sort of context without crediting him, he gets paid for that. So I don't think that that's for GOAT, though, although I don't care about this subject anymore.
All right.
Number 25 on Chris Sims' top 25 quarterbacks. We've gone through this list here. It started at 71. 71 was Cody Kessler. Blake Bortles was number 70. And now we've got Eli Manning at 38 behind Geno Smith. And the last five are Patrick Mahomes at 30, Josh McCown at 29, 28 is Jacoby Brissett, 27 is Ryan Tannehill, 26 is Tyrod Taylor, and the number 25 best quarterback in the universe, according to Chris Sims of Bleacher Report, is?
Oh, it's a special day. It's Andy Dalton, Cincinnati Bengals.
That's Happy
Valentine's Day.
Oh, that's too high. No, happy Valentine. I'm furious with you right now.
Red rifle.
AJ Green, that guy should have been out of the league 3 years ago. And this is using the math that you use on Blake Bortles in terms of how much he limits that offense, Chris.
Well, I'm not going to say that totally because he still can throw the ball down the field effectively. This is a guy that went to the playoffs 4 years in a row. I do think we are a little harsh on him because they are not capable of winning that one game. Hey, I think he is going to have to fight for his job with A.J. McCarron, who I had, there around 34 or 35, somewhere in that range. But regardless, I do think he deserves the respect to at least be in the top 25. He's a pretty good athlete. He's got a pretty good arm. It's a pretty quick release. He hasn't had a great offense around him. I know he's had A.J. Green.
Hold on.
But those are my points there.
The best year he had the best offensive line in football and was never hit. And help me with this because I will defer to you and your analysis on this. I never understand how to untangle a number one receiver from the greatness of a quarterback, but I feel like A.J. Green is the cheat code, that he should be even better and that he's not because of Dalton.
Well, listen. Early in Dalton's career, I would agree with that statement. I think you're 100%. Yes, he couldn't take advantage of some of A.J. Green's skill set opening down the field. The last few years, I would say A.J. Green's problems are more because Cincinnati is just not creative on the offensive side of the ball to find him cheap ways a la Antonio Brown or some of the other great receivers where they get these easy 4 and 5 yard completions and screen passes and all those type of things where they for some reason, I don't know why, we'll just put A.J. Green out on the right side of the formation, 65 out of 70 snaps and go, well, if you get single coverage, we'll throw it to you. If you don't, then we might not throw to you all game. And that's what kind of happens to him from time to time. So I look at it as more of an offensive scheme issue in Cincinnati as pertaining to that conversation.
Okay, so let's keep the coach and the quarterback exactly the same and the scheme to boot. Okay, great. Chris, thank you for being on with us.
I'm doing the number, I'm running numbers on this because you got 24 to go. There's going to be a big name not on this list. I'm telling you.
Okay.
There has to be.
You're running numbers? I thought Andy Dalton wasn't going to be on this list. I don't think there's going to be a big name missing. I'm right now, I've never been angrier at Chris Sims. Thank you for being on with us, Chris.
Thank you. I'm sorry to disappoint you on such a special day.
All right. Happy V-Day.
Say happy V-Day.
Dalton.
What are your thoughts there, though? Seriously.
You want my thoughts on the quarterback rankings?
No, this is where I want your thoughts. Where I want your thoughts is on the idea of, at the quarterback position, I feel like there are a lot of guys, if we throw them in there, the next thing we're going to be seeing is, in certain circumstance, Case Keenum or Nick Foles, you put them with the right team, and all of a sudden Nick Foles becomes something more special than he was. And so, in Cincinnati, I believe, now I could be wrong about this, but I believe A.J. Green to be as unguardable as anything that has ever played the position. I could be wrong about this.
Okay. Including Jerry Rice?
I'm saying that guy, I feel like the same way that Julio Jones allowed Matt Ryan to make a leap. Matt Ryan has largely been Ryan Tannehill, and then Julio Jones got there. Right or wrong?
No, I think that's fair.
And then Matt Ryan became, this guy can be an MVP of a league. And under certain circumstances, certain quarterbacks can make that leap with a number one wide receiver. And what I'm telling you is Dalton has had one his entire career, and I feel like wasted him. That the only reason Andy Dalton is as high on this list is because he's gotten an opportunity that a lot of Ryan Lindells would have wanted.
I mean, many quarterbacks would give anything to have a receiver like A.J. Green. Anything.
I'm not even sure Ryan Lindell is a quarterback. Is he a quarterback or a kicker?
I think he's a kicker.
Either way.
Fine.
I corrected it myself. Nobody else corrected me. You can't fine me for something no one else corrected. You guys just stared at me. I made the own correction on Ryan Lindell. I made him a great quarterback, even though he's a kicker, with A.J. Green as his wide receiver. That's what happened.
Sounds like a quarterback name.
It does sound like a quarterback's name. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate the assistant. We have had a ton of polls today at Le Batard Show. Has anyone noticed? You tell me, Stugotz. Has it been noticed? Because Lord knows the text machine and the Twitter machine, they fill up when I'm talking race issues. Fill up. We haven't had any complaints like that in months. Do you guys even notice when we're not talking race? Because I don't feel like you do. So here's Greg Popovich for you to shove a little bit of it in your face.
Great.
Well, I think it's pretty obvious. The league is made up of a lot of black guys. So to honor that and understand it is pretty simplistic. How would you ignore that? But more importantly, we live in a racist country that hasn't figured it out yet, and it's always important to bring attention to it, even if it angers some people. The point is that you have to keep it in front of everybody's nose so they understand it still hadn't been taken care of, and we have a lot of work to do.
Stugotz, funny or not funny to end every segment for the rest of the week with just non-explained Greg Popovich one sentence of "we live in a racist country"? Like, just end every segment that way. Just Greg Popovich's voice. Yes or no? It's funny if every segment for the rest of the week ends this way.
We live in a racist country.
Just bang. Every segment, doesn't matter what we're talking about, bang. That's the ending to every segment.
We live in a racist country.
So it could be anything?
Anything right. We're talking about, every segment for the rest of the week. Do you think that's a good idea?
Well, try it right here. The quarterback you were looking for was Ryan Lindley.
We live in a racist country.
Yeah, funny.
Stugotz wants a new boat. Time for some more ads.
Thank you, Stugotz.
You have the sound again? Chris Sims texts in saying Le Batard is spot on, but Matt Ryan got a Kyle Shanahan to help him get over the hump.
We live in a racist country.
You tell me that's not funny. Come on. That's a funny way to, I don't know, it might get old, but I think for a couple of days we can beat it into the ground.
We live in a racist country.
Just hit, no matter what we're talking about, the funnier on the front end, the better.
We live in a racist country.
I just saved hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico. I feel like I'm on top of the world.
Disclaimer, you will not be transported to the top of the world. In the unlikely event you find yourself at the Arctic Circle, seek shelter from the elements immediately to avoid frostbite and or hypothermia. Geico will not be responsible if you find yourself in a cave or crevasse with a lonely abominable snowman, who in all likelihood will force you to play games including but not limited to Go Fish, Charades, Chinese checkers, or his personal favorite, Red Rover, send Yeti on over. Geico is not liable for any damages, either physical or emotional.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Don Le Batard.
Good work today. That was a fun show.
Stugotz.
It was also intergalactically stupid.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
We got a lot of polls today at Le Batard Show on Twitter. We were telling you before that GOAT went from bad to good in sports at a time that nobody got the memo on, because 1992 sounds early. Tom Brady, the GOAT. Michael Jordan, the GOAT, used to be Bill Buckner, the GOAT. Chris Cody is saying choker. It's like if it's as if seeing choker go from something bad to something good.
Right.
Someone in sports is a choker. When did bad, meaning bad, not bad meaning good, happen? Was that Run DMC?
When did bad go from being bad to being good?
That someone is bad. Someone like,
because that's a compliment now, right? You're bad. You're a bad man.
That's right. Or a bad woman, or a woman's bad. Like, when did that happen? Regardless, at Le Batard Show, these are the kind of things we discuss on a Wednesday in sports when there's nothing else going on. And you might find some other interesting things at Le Batard Show on Twitter. What do we have today, Stugotz?
Yep, the Twitter poll is brought to you by JCPenney. There's more to love at JCPenney this Valentine's Day. Come in and find great gifts at sweet prices only at JCPenney. Is Mike a control freak? 94% of the audience said yes.
Mike Ryan is a control freak.
Yep. Do you love a musical card? 77% of the audience, Guillermo, disappointed here because we love them. They said no.
Wow, people hate musical cards.
I love you open it up. It's got a song there.
That's an extra $50.
Yeah. Is Valentine's Day stupid? 87% of the audience said yes.
Woof.
Wow. That's guys just not wanting to deal with the day.
That's correct.
I'm telling you.
That's correct. That's our primarily male audience wanting dinner cooked for them today, not wanting to have to make an effort.
That's you, too. You hate Valentine's Day.
Yeah. He wasn't including himself.
I wasn't excluding myself. I do. I prefer to have dinner made for me than have to go make an effort on dinner. Correct. I'm not going to apologize for that.
What effort did you make? Mike made a reservation for you?
Yeah, there were efforts made.
By you?
There were efforts made by me. Yes, by me.
Okay. I'll stop. Would the Warriors win the title wearing snow gear except for the footwear? 61% of the audience said yes. The title.
I'd love to see it. I wish they just have to play one game that way. If they get up 3-0 and like they did last year, the next game they should. You put that on the poll, Allison.
That'd be fun.
If the Warriors get up 3-0,
they're up 3-0 on the Cavs.
3-0 on anybody, should they have to for one game wear heavy jackets?
Tomorrow we should play the game. What could the worst team in the league do to win the championship?
Let's do that.
I like that.
Let's figure out how to do that tomorrow. The worst team in the league, what kind of, like those jet propeller things, those water jet propeller things? Something by Elon Musk. What would Elon Musk have to give the Kings or the Suns to make them NBA champions other than, LeBron?
It'd be the Hawks, and Elon Musk ain't giving them anything. He'll talk about something, but he'll never actually produce it and give it to them.
The Hawks are the worst team in basketball.
Name a Hawk.
The
After
Hawks,
Dennis Schroeder.
wait a minute.
Go ahead. Name a Hawk. Dare you. I just named the one that you were going to name, so now go ahead.
I mean, Bazemore makes a lot of money for them.
Oh, wow. Good job. You got Bazemore.
Good job.
Now name another one.
All right. You going to keep doing this?
Can you name a king? Can you name one king?
Zach Randolph.
All right. Good job.
Is Vince Carter still there?
He is. Can you believe that? There's a roster.
Why are you peppering me with
I don't know.
roster questions? How many Suns can you name?
Oh, wow. TJ Warren.
Oh, because you're a fantasy dope, too.
Yeah.
Okay, keep it moving. You know what? I just got suckered into one of your traps.
I can name all of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just gave you TJ Warren. Marquise Chris. I don't want to keep doing this. This is terrible radio.
Yeah, and you're faking it. Like everyone knows you're pretending to know. Like you're pretending to everyone's. If I keep asking you questions on the Suns, I'm going to run out before you get to even their starting lineup.
Coach PJ.
Go ahead and update the polls at Levitard Show.
Do you know what those tennis rackets on their feet are called? 55% of the audience said no.
Wow, snowshoes. Okay, we're not as dumb as we thought we were.
Are Drew Rosenhaus, cockroaches, Flanagan's cups, and Twinkies the only things that would survive a nuclear holocaust? 93% of the audience said yes.
Flanagan's Cups. If you're not familiar with Flanagan's nationally, it's a bar down here in South Florida that produces giant, great green cups.
You've had that cup for
That's right. I've had that cup since I was in college. I'm not going to apologize for it.
Did you know that you can't make an elephant run? 73%